Now that AJ Lee has returned, it begs the question, what wrestlers will sign with WWE next? Let's speculate. I'm Brandon, this is Wrestling Talk, and today we're going to break down the top 5 wrestlers who will sign with WWE in 2026. Intro done. Let's get started. Coming in at number 5, Brie Bella. Both Nikki and Brie have been talking about Brie's potential return to WWE for the past few months, or really ever since Nikki returned. Brie Bella has said in multiple interviews that because Bryan Danielson works for AEW, that is a bit of a hurdle in terms of WWE re-signing her. In my opinion, that's just her keeping up kayfabe. Because when you look at Evolution, we all thought we were going to get Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella. However, at that time, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were the tag team champions. So it would stand to reason that at Evolution they would defend the tag titles as opposed to just doing Liv versus Nikki. Not to mention, after Liv got injured, they still defended the tag team titles in a fatal 4-way. So in my opinion, if it wasn't for Liv Morgan getting injured, the match at Evolution was likely going to be Liv and Raquel versus the Bella twins for the tag team championships. But that's all in the past. In terms of the future, I think it is very likely that Brie Bella returns to the WWE, reunites with Nikki Bella. I think the two of them winning the tag team championships is very likely. Honestly, I could see it happening as soon as the Royal Rumble. I think there is money to be made with the reunited Bellas. Nikki Bella keeps talking about it, so if Brie Bella's return was entirely off the table, you think WWE would tell Nikki to not mention it so much. To me, it's only a matter of time before it happens, so I think sometime in 2026 is very likely. Moving on to number 4, the Hardy Boys. According to Google, the Hardy Boys TNA contracts end in November of this year, meaning come 2026, they will be free agents. The Hardy Boys have also said in multiple interviews that they would like to end their careers in WWE. Couple that with the WWE TNA partnership going on, to me, all signs are pointing to the Hardy Boys returning to WWE in early 2026. Maybe at the Royal Rumble, maybe at WrestleMania itself. I could absolutely see them being included in whatever the TLC match is going to be for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Hardy Boys versus Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. It just makes sense. And then after that, the Hardy Boys can go on one final run in WWE. Given how frequently both of them have talked about retirement, I don't think they're going to re-sign with TNA. I think they're going back home. Coming in at number 3, Paige. Listen, the moment AJ Lee returned, you knew that fans were going to start speculating about when Paige would show up in WWE again. At the moment, she is probably the biggest free agent on the market. She would be the next biggest return for the women's division after AJ Lee. Because like AJ Lee's return, there is so much to do in WWE with Paige. I think Paige versus Rhea Ripley is a dream match, not to mention Paige versus Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton, reuniting with AJ Lee and facing off against the Bellas one last time. WWE has the potential for a Divas takeover in 2026. They already have Nikki Bella. AJ Lee returning was the most unlikely one to happen, and it's happened. So all you need is Brie Bella and Paige, and you have a full Divas takeover. Obviously, I could see WWE doing the Bellas versus Paige and AJ again, but to be honest, I would just want to see all of them share a moment together in the Royal Rumble, and then each of them can go on to face the current wrestlers. AJ Lee versus Roxanne Perez, Paige versus Rhea Ripley. Paige has said in multiple interviews that she has always been on good terms with WWE, so I think a return is very likely, especially if they end up making Evolution a yearly PLE. If that happens, you definitely need Paige. Coming in at number 2, Chris Jericho. According to Google, Chris Jericho's AEW contract will expire in December of 2025, meaning by 2026, he will be a free agent. He's also said in a recent interview that he's open to whatever happens in terms of a WWE return. So to me, that says he is very open to it. And honestly, this would be the biggest return to WWE since CM Punk. It wouldn't be bigger, but to see Chris Jericho come back and complete his career in WWE, that would be huge. I'm calling it now. He's going to be entrant number 30 in the Royal Rumble. And then at WrestleMania in Vegas, give me Chris Jericho versus LA Knight for the IC title. The promos between those two would be hilarious, and Chris Jericho is the perfect guy to put LA Knight over. But coming in at number 1, to me, is the most obvious candidate to sign with WWE in 2026, and that is That's right, Joe Hendry. According to Google, Joe Hendry's TNA contract will end at some point in 2025. Once that happens, given how much he has been on NXT as well as the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania this past year, I think it is 1000% a lock that as soon as his contract is up with TNA, Joe Hendry is WWE bound. I could see them doing to Joe Hendry exactly what they did with Jordynne Grace, where he enters the Royal Rumble, and that's when the commentators announce that he is doing so as a brand new member of the WWE roster. After that, I think he will absolutely be a part of the main roster and probably will go on to have a match at WrestleMania. I could see Joe Hendry as AJ Styles' final WrestleMania opponent. Former TNA guy versus former TNA guy. But that's it. Those are the top 5 wrestlers who I think will sign with WWE in 2026. What do you think? Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.